Welcome to the Football Critters Podcast. I'm your host, the Otter, and with me are my co-hosts,
Bear
and the Moose.
Moose. Moosey. God, rolls off the
I can't help it. I just can't help myself.
Today, we're going to talk about the free agency moves that the two of the NFC divisions has made. We'll start with the NFC East, go through those four teams, then do the NFC South, and we'll discuss all the moves and what we think that they made and if they've gotten better or worse. Discuss their plans, so on and so forth. So
all garbage.
Let's start with Dallas, the Cowboys. So they didn't do anything.
They got Eric Kendricks, which I like.
So they didn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do like Eric Kendricks. I really do. He's just old now, and I don't know if he's going to push the needle. It's like with Leighton Vander Esch retiring.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Not like he really could be on the field that much. They definitely needed some veteran presence back there, and I love how smart he plays. He's still going to be a good veteran presence for that defense. So
yeah, and I think that's most of Eric Kendrick's game is his mind and how his presence as a captain on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, you don't play that good in coverage without being a smart player, especially in zone
and as a linebacker.
Well, yeah,
it's hard to find a good coverage linebacker as good as him. You know,
if you're a good coverage linebacker, that already shows you're smart.
And you get converted into safety.
Wait, what?
Yeah, nothing. Never mind.
It's like something about a safety.
What are you even saying?
I said if you're good enough coverage linebacker, you get converted to safety. But it was just a bad joke.
It was an awful joke.
I'm gonna write that down as actual analysis.
And if you're a bad cover safety, you get converted to linebacker. You know.
Yeah, I mean the other moves. Well, what I'm surprised with at least is with Micah Parsons. They just did their 5th-year option. I guess they just didn't agree on a number yet, so they're just going to figure that out this year. I'd assume they were going to pay him by now, but
yeah, it's pretty insane that they didn't.
Because they love their players. I'm surprised they just didn't give him all the money. Well, actually, that's false. They're probably trying to figure out the Dak thing first, and then since that's kind of stopped, maybe they'll figure out the Micah Parsons part.
Yeah. When did they have to pay CeeDee Lamb by?
Next year.
Next year?
Unless they do his 5th-year option too.
That's true.
Yeah, I think from what I understand from all their moves, they were not going to make many splash plays in free agency until they figured out what they were doing with their home finances.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised Zach Martin's still there. I thought they were going to let him go to make up some cap space.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so good. It would be a shame.
I was surprised, though, that they released Michael Gallup, but I mean, the wide receivers behind him don't look that bad.
I was just about to say that they look pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Brandon Cooks is bad?
He's not nearly as good as he was, like not even close.
I mean, how much better do you think Gallup is than him?
I mean, I'm not saying Gallup is good, but
I mean, and Jalen Tolbert looked pretty coming out. I think he could definitely turn it around.
I mean, Gallup has always been kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was really scared of the Brandon Cooks trade, because I was like, oh, man, they're going to be so good. Because if you have Michael Gallup at the wide receiver 3,
yeah, exactly.
I thought that was going to be like a deadly 3-way combination. But Brandon Cooks didn't really take his usual steps.
Yeah, you just kind of getting to him.
It's kind of funny, though. He's probably going to get paid still, just because of how many wide receivers are left. Yeah, I think somebody's going to pay him.
Oh, yeah. I would take a shot on him. I don't know how much I'd pay, though. I don't know how much he would get.
Tavis Bryant's still on the roster.
Especially considering the wide receiver class is coming up.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to get that much.
I wonder where Stephon Gilmore's going to go, too.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. Yeah, if he wants to leave then.
Yeah.
Hey, Moosey, did you get to watch Tyler Smith play when Tyron was out? He left.
I've only seen him at guard.
Yeah, he's a monster guard. I love watching him at guard.
Yeah, no, he's great at guard. I think didn't he only play at guard last year?
No, he would switch to tackle too. If Tyron Smith was out, he has tackle guard versatility.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've only seen him at guard.
And he's a pretty good tackle, mostly in run game. He's a beast. Yeah. Like, it's scary to watch him play.
Oh, yeah, I know overall he had a good year last year.
Yeah, I don't know who the right tackle is. That's Steele Terrence.
Yeah. Oh, Terrence Steele. Yeah, he's not good. He was a liability for them when they have a premier edge rusher, he usually gets beat. I think he's fine against average guys, but you can tell where his ceiling's at.
Yeah, their O-line's looking a little rough.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't at least try to get some depth for that. But again, from what my takeaway from their free agency so far is that they're figuring out their money situation first before doing anything else, which surprises me because I thought they would go all in this year. But
yeah, I'm really surprised on their running backs too. They don't have the running back. Like it's I don't
I
know.
like Juice Vaughn coming out. I don't know how he's playing, but I do like him.
He had a great preseason last year. All Cowboys fans were talking him up, hyping him up, and then he like never played. So
he'll get his opportunity with Tony Pollard out, no longer there.
What did you think of Mozzie Smith last year?
I didn't ever even see him.
Yeah, he was pretty mid at best, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked him, which I'm pretty sad about it. He was one of my favorite D tackles in the class. I at least thought he would become an instant run defense presence, but not really this year.
Yeah, that's why they drafted him for the run defense, because their run defense is pretty poor. But yeah, I barely even saw him.
Any other thoughts on the Dallas Cowboy free agency?
I think they're going to draft a middle linebacker out here. I mean, I know they got Overshown, but I don't know if I liked him. I mean, Damone Clark got injured pretty bad last year, and he's a terrible injury. I actually really liked him coming out because of his injury history. I really didn't want him for the Steelers. Defense, that looks like their only like absolute need today. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, O-line's looking a little rough. They're probably going to take one of the best running backs on the board. And there's a lot of good ones, man. Like I know they think it's a weak class, but I mean, there's definitely some guys there worthy of a second or third round pick.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I might actually give them an F.
Yeah.
For the grade.
Yeah, they got a lot of holes that they need to fill still. And
yeah. They didn't improve anywhere.
No, they did not. They actually, what's the opposite of improved? Worsened.
My brain's fried.
Yeah, I know.
I just cannot think of words.
I can't word good right now.
We still can't think about it.
Whatever. We get the idea.
Let's go.
Yeah, they definitely worsened in a lot of positions.
They're trending down.
Just a reminder to our listeners, we are done.
Descending?
Yeah, descending. Yeah.
Woo!
Well, no, descending's not it.
Yeah, that's not it.
Whatever. Don't want to give me any credit.
Everyone took a short break to look up the definition of opposite of improve.
Disprove.
Yeah, worsen or impair. So I guess worsen was the right word. Anyway, moving on.
We're so dumb.
Deteriorate.
All right, let's talk New York Giants.
It got worse.
What? You got worse?
I was talking about
the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got worse. But the Giants.
Now let's talk about the Giants.
The Giants definitely didn't get worse.
No, they definitely
did. They did a lot of great moves, I thought. Specifically the O-line, trying to get that bolstered up. Like
D-line.
And the D-line, hell yeah. Like Jermaine Illuminor, I thought was a fantastic signing for them. I'm not sure who is their right tackle last year. That first round pick that played terrible. Evan Neal, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really shocked how he's been turning out. I thought he was the safest pick that year. Wasn't my favorite, but definitely I thought was the safest pick.
Yeah, me too. I was a real huge fan.
Guard?
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I don't know how that he would translate, but you can at least try. You put your best 5 out there. Illuminor out to the right, him in guard.
I wouldn't be shocked if they put him on the trade block even, because I bet his value right now is still pretty good.
Yeah, as a young right tackle. Do you think they would trade him to the Eagles?
No.
I'll take him as a backup tackle.
Yeah, I just don't think they would. They're like, screw you guys. I'm never touching you. It's what you did with Saquon.
And Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys paid Saquon.
But
I love the whole "you're dead to me" thing that was coming out. I'm just like thinking to myself, they only paid him freaking pennies. Like, my God.
Yeah.
It's big money for running backs nowadays, though.
Not even going to get into that subject.
And the big one, Brian Burns.
Crazy.
I'm really curious to see how they're going to use him. I'm very intrigued with it.
I would say they're probably going to put him on the edge.
But they already have Aziz Giuliari and what's his face, and
Well-
Kayvon Thibodeau. Like,
But at least you're not forcing yourself to use Kayvon Thibodeau and wait for him to develop. At least you can probably move Kayvon inside every now and then, or do some stunts with him. Kayvon as the 2, he played a lot better than his first year.
Yeah.
But if you're moving him as like your because you have the guy in the middle,
Dex.
yeah, Big Dexy.
Dex.
Yeah, you have him. You put what's his face at 2 as the 2, Thibodeau, and Brian Burns is your number 1 guy. Ugh, that's such a great combination.
Yeah, it's a crazy fucking line.
yeah, I mean, I really like Brian Burns, but I just did not. I was very surprised that's where he ended up.
Yeah,
I didn't know if he really fit their system.
yeah. I mean, you just get them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think they do. The new Giants defense is very aggressive, and the defense has been the better part of their teams in the past year or two since Dayball got there. So,
Like, I remember when it was coming out that they were looking to trade him, and I was like, I wonder if Indianapolis would take him. Like, it just seemed like a good fit.
I feel like that would be the opposite of a good fit.
Why?
Because they don't really. I just like it. I feel like it's just
They don't
their
seem
defense.
They don't seem to like speed rushers. They like the strong like edge setting guys, not like the speed guys around the edge that break contain.
Yeah, they like their linebackers too. Like their
they do.
Like their middle linebackers and their they actually like their linebackers run stopping and doing everything a lot. Not their D line.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think he would have been a really good piece for them.
I think it's a really good piece for the Giants. I'm so excited for them. Like that's gonna be great. The contract might be I was kind of surprised by the contract. Was that like $30 million a year?
That I am not sure.
Did they pay Lawrence yet? They had to have, right?
Yeah. I think so. They definitely did. Oh, it's $28 a year, pretty much. So that's actually a really good deal for Brian Burns as like a number 1 guy.
Yeah, 5-year, $150.
Especially as the cap goes up, like that's probably going to look like a decent deal if he performs well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm really curious to see what their first move is. I wouldn't be shocked if they're the first one to trade back.
Maybe. I mean, with wide receiver there, they need wide receivers and probably
corners.
a QB. But
they kind of locked themselves in with Daniel Jones with that really dumb contract. But
no, they got Drew Lock now. He's going to take the starting role.
I thought it was going to be Tommy DeVito.
They only got Tommy DeVito behind him, so they're stacked at QB actually.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing.
You think Daniel Jones and DeVito they share a bunk bed at his parents' house?
No, I imagine that they hate each other.
I just love like the memes that these QBs are. Like you got Daniel Jones just being basically the discount version of Eli Manning that can run.
Yeah.
Then you have Horsecock Lock himself. And then the Italian mafia member in the third. It is an amazing nickname, and I won't stand for any slander. I won't stand for it. All you got to do, if you want to talk about it, everyone will know if you're talking on any football forum, you just put a picture of a horse, a chicken, and a lock. Everyone knows who you're talking about.
I didn't even know that.
Too bad he can't throw a football.
He can throw a football fine. He's just not really.
I bet Ben Roethlisberger could outthrow him. He doesn't even have an arm.
What? Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
Drew Lock beat the Eagles, so.
Yeah, but Seahawks always beat the Eagles. Mayfield. It doesn't matter who the QB would have been.
Yeah, no. Even if you have to injure a QB, you guys still win,
Whatever it takes. Wow.
This corner room, man, hurts.
Yeah, it does.
What?
This corner room for them hurts. I mean, it's just like I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I don't even know. I know 2 names basically.
Yeah,
one of them isn't a name I like.
They had a Dory Jackson there, and I really liked how he played with them last year. But he's not a number 1. He's a solid 2 guy.
Yeah, I actually think that Dory Jackson had one of his worst years with the Giants just because of the fit. In my opinion.
Oh, really?
I didn't think he fit that defense because he got burnt a lot last year. Yeah, I know Dory Jackson is good. I know he's a good corner, and when they got him, I was scared as an Eagles fan. But when watching him play and stuff, I was like, oof, what happened?
Yeah. Oh, I totally get what you like. If you're gonna put him on an island because you're blitzing everyone at a time, like I don't think he holds up that much, especially with how stacked a lot of the receivers in the NFC East are.
Yeah,
So, like, I totally get it. I don't expect him to be shut down, and putting him in that position is kind of shitty. I still think he's good.
Yeah, same.
I do agree with the system thing. I didn't really.
Yeah, no shade to him. It's just I just didn't think it was a good fit.
Yeah,
I just don't know what you were afraid of with him.
I think he's just a smart corner.
I mean, his rookie year was pretty good, but since then he's kind of been meh.
And when he was on the Titans, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
When the defense was good, he played okay. But when the defense declined, he also declined. And looking at the stats here, it totally shows that.
Local stat guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I want to double check that I was right on this.
I'm really disappointed they lost Xavier McKinney though. He was the bright spot on that defense that wasn't named Dexter Lawrence, you know. And he's a young guy too. Like, so he's like only gonna get better. At least I'd hope.
Yeah, he did the fake out with the Eagles too.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
How much did he end up making?
I don't know. Ever since it came out that he signed with the Packers, I was like, I'm done with you. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Look, you got Gardner Johnson back. Just be happy.
Well, it was a bidding war.
I'm happy about it turned out, obviously, but
the Eagles just lost that bidding war, you know. Like they don't believe in paying safeties too much money.
Or linebackers.
Xavier McKinney got 4 years, 67, by the way. So it's about like what, 15? No.
Yeah.
17. It's about 17 a year.
But yeah, like everywhere came out saying that he was going to sign the Eagles, and then like last minute it was just like, yeah, he signed the Packers. It's like, oh, okay.
He's like going once, going twice. Oh, Packers game is sweet. Sold. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. It was literally within hours. It's not even hours. It's probably like an hour.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm happy that we got CD instead. CD Deuce.
You got what? Sorry.
CD Deuce.
What intonation is that language you're talking?
CJ Gardner Johnson is his nickname.
Oh, CD Juice is his name?
I have never heard that.
That's his nickname, CD Juice.
CD Juice. Did he put that out? Is that what he chose?
CD Deuce.
CD Deuce.
Because he shits on every team that he leaves.
I really do like how they picked up a couple more guards too with John Runyon.
Yeah.
Aaron Stinney, Austin Schlottman. Like they're just really trying to build the depth. Got Matt Nelson from the Lions.
I don't know much about Stinney.
I don't know either. I just, anytime you're like, if your offensive line is terrible, you got to take some shots and pay some guys. So I think you needed, and I don't think they paid a lot for any of those dudes. So you're just hoping the coaching maybe brings the most out of them, have solid depth, because if someone gets hurt, you're gonna want as much of it as possible. So I really do like that kind of even if I don't like the player as much, I do like the process they're using.
Yeah, I really like the John Runyon pickup.
Yeah, him specifically, I thought was a good choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
I can't believe how many offensive line they got on the roster right now. It's got to be the most of any team.
Yeah,
they definitely needed it.
Yeah, they have. Oh my god, yeah. But that's probably why no one else is picking them up, because they just scooped them all. Them and the Panthers. But overall, what do you guys think grade wise? Or unless there's someone else that you wanted to talk about. There's Gunnar Olszewski. Is that someone you want to talk about? My Big Bear.
I don't know. I don't know who that is. I just am very happy he's not wearing black and yellow anymore. It's very, very happy.
He looked good in blue and white. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he did, and he got power clean all the time.
I don't know, Moose. What do you think grade wise?
I'll do a B plus.
I think I'm right there with you. Made some good moves.
Mostly the Brian Burns pickup is most of that, and on the offensive line pickups.
Yeah, I think good processes overall.
Yeah,
and like I also thought the Devin Singletary signing was pretty sneaky. I thought he played really well last year.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I mean,
he's just not gonna wow you, you know.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like I'm kind of in the C plus spot because quarterback is still an issue, and I don't think they're in a place, and it doesn't look like they're going to be going for a quarterback in the draft. So that's still a problem. They lost their best ball carrier, and they replaced him with Devin Singletary. But the wide receiver room just still is not very impressive. And I mean, their corner situation's definitely one of the worst we've looked at.
Yeah, again, we're talking about the free agency pickups and stuff, you know.
Yeah, but as part of free agency, the point of it is to build up on your weaknesses, and they haven't really seemed to do that. Like, I don't think the D line was a weakness of theirs. I think it was actually one of their stronger pieces. And yet, we look at the linebacker situation, we look at the corners, and even some of the safeties. All that looks pretty bad. Your running backs don't look that great, and neither do the wide receivers and quarterback. I mean, they did good on the offensive line. I'm not going to argue that. They needed to build up there, and they did well with that. I just feel like the other positions of weakness didn't get touched. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
I do agree with like the corners and safeties and stuff like not being good. Like if they didn't, I wish they didn't lose Xavier McKinney
I'd feel a lot better
and
if they did.
the QB situation, and they were kind of stuck there anyway. And I think at the end of the day, even if they don't, there is some smoke about them wanting to take a QB in the draft. But if they don't, like the next best thing they can do is fill up the offensive line. So I really like that. And then with the running back situation, like, yeah, they lost Saquon, but Saquon didn't seem like he didn't want to be there anymore anyway. And I don't think it was a high priority for them to pick some elite running back up. And Devin Singletary is more than serviceable.
I just feel like in a free agency where we saw all the quarterbacks from the Pickett draft be moved other than Malik, they didn't pick up any of those guys. I might be wrong with this, but I don't think they were in the talks for Fields either.
No,
And
they're stuck with Daniel Jones as a starter
Yeah.
because of how much money they're paying him. There's no if and or buts. They were always going to start Daniel Jones this year
Or
because of how much money.
Drew Lock and just pretend that they're paying. They have two good, about comparable QBs.
do you actually think Drew Lock could beat him out? Like,
No.
in all seriousness?
No,
I don't really think so. I think Daniel Jones is more athletic than people think.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's more.
Oh, yeah.
Than he actually is. Like he's a good, decent, good, somewhere in between.
He's average.
Quarterback.
I just think
I want to
the way
see
the
him.
team's built right now, like they're basically putting it on his shoulders for them to succeed.
I mean, they
based on
paid him
the roster right now.
They paid him a good amount of money.
A lot of
Yeah.
bad quarterbacks have gotten paid. Remember
Not
Brock
like that.
Osweiler? Do you remember Brock Osweiler? Do you remember?
Yeah.
There's been others. There's been plenty of others. He's bad, real
I
bad.
wouldn't say he's bad. I wouldn't say he's bad.
I think he'd compete for number 3 on the Steelers right now. Yep.
Who?
Daniel Jones.
What?
No way.
He'd be fighting with Kyle Allen and he'd barely win.
No, Daniel Jones would probably start for you guys.
No, please God. No.
Yes, he would.
Then I would be a Ravens fan.
But what I wanted to say earlier, with the Brian Burns pickup, a great defensive line will make your mediocre cornerbacks look good.
Ooh, good point.
So you say that, and then teams get into the playoffs. The Steelers have tried this game year after year, and they stopped playing that game for a reason. Like it doesn't get you to Super Bowls.
That was literally the definition of the 2017 Eagles, was that we had an amazing defensive line and our subpar cornerbacks looked like Pro Bowl cornerbacks.
I would say your cornerbacks at least played above average. And
I mean, one of our starting cornerbacks was Jalen Mills.
Oh, yeah. The 2017 one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how long ago was that? How long ago was that?
Yeah, but Jalen Mills wasn't like even
6-7 years ago.
Average. Like Jalen Mills was average, and he was like
now he's old as shit.
But he also had one of his best years of his career that year.
Yeah,
because of how good our defensive line was.
Having an elite D line will definitely cover a lot of deficiencies, and but that only works if the offense is good. Like if the offense is like causing them to be in passing situations a lot more, then the D line can feast, and the cornerbacks don't have to be as stressed, especially if they're average to below average.
Yeah.
So that's I like that point. I do think Brian Burns takes that D line to the next level, especially considering Dexter Lawrence broke out last year. So that's a very good point. So I'm solidifying that B+ for me.
Yeah.
I'm still a C+.
That's all good. We don't have to agree.
All righty, here we go. Excitement time. All right, let's get the Moosey rant going.
Oh God,
Philadelphia Eagles.
There's so much to talk about.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for you guys.
I'm excited. This is good. This is a lot of good stuff here.
I just want to say
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking those little hands out of my locker room. I appreciate it.
That's the one thing I don't want to talk about.
I'm gonna avoid it right now. Yeah.
Yo, you gotta order those gloves now, man. They are extra small. You have to order those in advance, okay? They don't make many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only QB we'll talk about in this free agent signing is Will Greer, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm so excited to hear the fourth string
Another quarterback I didn't like.
First string quarterback. Can't wait that he's here. I'm so excited that he's here.
You know what wouldn't shock me is if Tanner McKee beats out Kenny for the backup.
I doubt that will not happen, but
I know McKee can throw
Tim-
football.
yeah, I know. Tanner McKee looked pretty good last year in preseason and stuff, but yeah, I mean, Marcus Mariota beat him, so Kenny Pickett can definitely beat him. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna go down that road today. You know how I feel.
But
The Parker pickup was weird.
That was weird.
I was really surprised with that one. I think that one surprised me more than most.
I do like the Paris Campbell one though. I liked him when he played with them in 2022.
yeah, I thought the Paris Campbell pickup was very weird after we picked up Devontae Parker. Not that they're the same player or whatever, but just like I don't understand signing another 1 year wide receiver for this, for depth or whatever. But I like Devontae Parker. I like the old Devontae Parker. The recent one, obviously, he's shown his age. So I'm rooting for him, obviously, and because I've always liked him. But it would be a weird third spot for that wide receiver group between Paris Campbell and Devontae Parker.
I mean, he's always played his best when he was wearing the color green. So.
Oh, I know who I was.
Turquoise more, but
Shut up.
I know who I was mixing up Paris Campbell with now. It was Zach Pascal.
Oh, that's who I was mixing up with.
That's who I was mixing him up with.
My bad, yeah.
Because I was like looking at him like, you didn't.
I like Zach Pascal better. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's
my bad.
Zach Pascal played for the Cardinals last year.
So
Paris Campbell played for the Giants last year.
Okay, well, you guys just take all the Giants, including Saquon. I absolutely adore that move for the Eagles. Like, finally, you're going to get yourself a great star player in the backfield, and you pay a little bit extra. When the market for running backs is going down, you're like, all right, well, we're going to take one of the best ones on the market and just pay a little bit extra for him. Which, if you're saying you're paying Saquon $13 million a year, that seems like a steal like 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it feels like a steal now still, but so I am excited to see what the damage he can do.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see him with Hurts in the backfield as well, and with that O line. I feel like I've said to you guys before. I mean, it just feels like a standard Philly curse coming, where he's gonna have an amazing preseason. We're gonna get all hyped. Like the first drive of the season, he's gonna tear his knee's just gonna blow up. But
do not let that man play in preseason. Just don't. Just don't do it.
You know what I mean? Like he probably won't play in preseason, but like training camp and the preseason,
all the hype and stuff.
Yeah, the practices and all and stuff like that.
It just ruined Saquon.
It just seems like that's gonna just being a lifelong Philly fan. I just feel like that's just coming. But obviously, I'm hoping
it's hope season. So
how do you feel about Tyler Steen? I don't know anything about him.
He didn't really play much, if at all, like last year. He might have played like a few plays or a few drives or whatever, but stereotypical Eagles fashion, they hyped him up a lot, like through practices and stuff like that he's gonna play well. Also, the Eagles are actually probably 100% going to draft another O lineman, like they always do every year.
Shocker.
Yeah. And as of right now, he's a starting right guard, and I'm pretty sure the Eagles themselves said that he's their starting right guard as of now.
You guys have Fred Johnson back up too? He was on the Steelers. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Steen is hyped up, and as of right now, they're telling us that he's our starting right guard. So we'll see.
I also enjoyed the Bryce Huff pickup. I really do like Bryce Huff. The only thing that perplexes me is like what they're doing on the D line. They are so deep at edge.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a lot of been trade rumors around, getting rid of either Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat. So,
I don't think it's Sweat now.
well, yeah, he got that weird extension.
Yeah. And
So
yeah,
Reddick
apparently
seems
took
to be on
enough
the
money to
table.
stay. So
Wait, Darius Slay still on the team?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
And Brad? I thought
Yep.
they were gonna get rid of both of them.
I was hoping they'd get rid of Bradbury. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they're the past 4 or 5 years now. We've always had a deep D line room, and they love swapping them out, keeping guys fresh, and all. I definitely like the Bryce Huff pick. I uh, everything that they've said. I mean, Josh Sweat obviously he had offers for other teams. He took less money to stay with the Eagles.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that. Okay, that's cool.
yeah, he got offered more money for other teams, but he took less to stay with the Eagles. Hassan Reddick, he grew up in Philly. He's from Philly. He says publicly that he wants to stay. That's up to Howie. Now it's in Howie's court right now to see if they're going to keep him. I could definitely see that they keep him at least for one more year, but I don't know. Like I said, they love their deep D line room and swapping them as much as they do.
Right.
And Brandon Graham publicly said that he's on his last year, no matter what.
Okay.
So, and he doesn't. He's still a good player, but he doesn't have much left in his tank. That the ends are. It makes sense. The ends. I mean, we got Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, and Hassan Reddick before the Bryce Huff, and so it's a good young guy that obviously showed flash potential last year. So
Right.
I like to pick up.
Oh yeah, I thought it was.
Do you think sorry.
All right, go ahead, bud.
Do you think they might bring back Zach Cunningham? I mean, they used him a lot last year.
No, I don't think so. He was pretty bad. And he was pretty bad, and he was our best linebacker last year.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I'm kind of surprised they didn't at least bring him back.
No, we signed three. We signed three linebackers as of now.
Well,
Obviously,
Vaughn-
WO picked up Zach Bond and Burke. Or Bond and Burks are guys that are potential guys.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I did.
Vaughn can also play edge too, which is pretty nice.
I do like Zach Bond a lot when he was on the Saints. I thought
Yeah,
he had a lot of
a lot
potential
too.
to grow, and being next, he got beat out by Demario Davis and the who was the other guy they had? They had another guy who was developing next to Demario, and Zach just couldn't get on the field as much. So I think it's a good opportunity for him to start. Probably the reason he signed with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Devin White, always take a shot on some athletic guy, as athletic as he is. I just wish his football IQ was better. But
yeah,
if the defense is protecting him, then it shouldn't be that much of an issue.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of what we needed in Philly right now with the athletic linebacker that can go sideline to sideline. I don't know. We'll see.
And then you got your CG. Is it CG or CD Juice?
It's CD Deuce.
CD Deuce. Ugh.
CD Deuce.
You have no idea how much I despise that nickname.
It's his Instagram handle.
It's pretty ugly.
Like, I'd rather have Horsecock Lock than as a nickname than CD Deuce.
I'm hyped that he's back.
Oh yeah. You never was mad at him ever. You always loved him.
100%. Never hated him whatsoever.
You guys just need a premier shit talker on the team,
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I loved him when he was here, because he is a shit talker. But I'm so hyped that he's back. And other safety spot is a huge question right now, but we'll see.
I mean, Sidney Brown showed flashes last year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping. Always like
Reed.
He is average, but I do like how he plays.
He can tackle good.
Sorry, I meant new nickel package defender. There you go.
Yeah,
Reed Blankenship.
Yeah, Reed Blankenship can tackle. That's pretty much all he can do. But
wonder if they would try to move him to linebacker. Blankenship?
Be a light ass linebacker.
Yeah,
he can put some weight on. I mean, the way he hits, he's pretty good.
Yeah, but
I've seen it happen quite a few times.
Yeah, but
are you really trusting Devin White? Honestly,
I trust.
I mean,
Devin
maybe
White more
Burks.
Reed Blankenship. I mean, with the linebacker spot, you need it's a lot of mental stuff and head game. Like you got to
Right.
know where you need to be and stuff. And I feel like that's one of Blankenship's worst characteristics.
Yeah.
So
I would argue Devin White's not that much better.
Yeah,
He just gets out of position faster than Reed would.
yeah,
But Zach
yeah,
Bond, I think, could do it. And I don't know much about Oren Burks to say anything, but
yeah.
depth you needed linebackers so bad.
yeah,
And
and they went out and got a few.
yeah, it's way better than a lot of other teams did with linebackers. This
Yeah.
surprisingly, with how thin it has been.
And the OC and DC pickups, I think, are the biggest offseason pickups for the Eagles.
Huh? What makes you say that?
I'm really hoping that PJ Mustipher makes your team as well.
You always
I
loved
always
him.
liked him. Yeah, he's one of my favorites for sure.
What kind of was he like a high character guy too?
Yeah, I mean, and he was a captain of the defense for multiple years. But I mean, you tear your ACL 2 years in a row. That's gonna hurt your career.
Oh, that sucks.
But I mean, he was a hell of a player in college. Definitely a lot to like. But I'll tell you this, man. I'm looking at this running back room just to go back to it real quick. I mean, Saquon, Gainwell, and Davis Price, man. I love that trio. I mean that might be really fun to watch because I
Yeah,
think the key's going to be to keep the miles off Barkley.
yeah, I think it's going to be mostly Gainwell. I mean, I don't know much about Davis Price.
I remember him a little bit from when he played with the Niners.
Yeah, wasn't a huge fan of him. Kenneth Gainwell, I always loved. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
why a lot of Eagles fans never really liked him.
He just, I feel like
He
he
was
hasn't
weird.
really, he hasn't had a great opportunity really with Miles and Boston Scott his first year, and then last year was Swift and
Well, it sucked because like Kenneth was gonna have that start, and then he got hurt, and then Swift took over that one Vikings game, and like,
yeah,
I thought he played really well at the end by the end of the season, though. Gainwell.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Gainwell always has good carries. It's just like I say, he just hasn't had a lot of carries just in general.
Right.
So I think I like the duo of Saquon and Gainwell.
Yeah. I mean, you guys clearly
Okay.
upgraded over Swift.
Yeah.
Like that whole room is awesome. I'd rather have Saquon for 13 than Swift for 8. So
Yeah, which even if we got Swift back, I would have been ecstatic. So getting Barkley, I mean, is crazy.
I mean, is there any losses that you're actually upset about?
it was Kevin Byard, Devontae Maddox, Driscoll, Stoll, Scott.
You also you put
Boston
Cox.
Scott.
You put Cox as retired on here, but you didn't put Jason Kelsey, which is insane.
I can't
Adding
believe you called him out like that. Why you gotta
I'm
do
adding
so
it
dirty?
right. I'm adding it right now.
No, I made the note
You know,
after
Moose,
I looked over it on
ahead.
Monday. I looked over it on Monday, and I'm like, notable losses. Fletcher Cox retired. I'm like, wait, what?
I said notable losses. He's not
Damn.
All pro center last year.
Definitely Hall of Fame. Like
Yeah, definitely Hall of Fame, but no big deal.
Damn, he said he made the
Zach
he made the Pro Bowl because of his brother.
Zach Cunningham was definitely worth putting over Jason Kelsey on this. So
Notice he put him at the bottom too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be upset with Swift if we didn't get Barkley. I mean, Driscoll's good depth, but
What about Avante?
Avante, I forgot about him. Did he sign anywhere yet?
No, not yet.
Oh God.
I wouldn't be too surprised if he came back. I really like Avante.
Yeah, I do too.
He's got injury problems, obviously, but when he does play, he's a pretty damn good nickel back or slot corner, whatever.
Yeah. I totally get why they released him. He wasn't worth the pay with being on the injured reserve as much as he was, but
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I guess it depends on his market. I wouldn't be too surprised if they brought him back because I really liked him when he does play. So
Yeah, I mean he was on IR the last 3 of the 4 years.
yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
rough.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I was really hoping Shaq Leonard would step up and play well, but I mean, our defense was a debacle by the time he got here, and he was kind of brought in as a please help, you know.
This dumpster fire is pretty toasty right now.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm not really missing much. Obviously, other than Kels and Cox, he actually played a lot better than I thought he would the past year and a half or so.
Yeah, me too. He got a lot of playing time for his age.
Yeah.
I was, especially with Jalen Carter and Davis being there, and Milton Williams.
Yeah.
Love me.
The year before prior, where we made it to the Super Bowl, he looked really bad. He looked really slow. It looked like his heart wasn't in it. And then the year that we went to the Super Bowl, he looked pretty damn good. And this past year, he looked pretty good. So, I mean,
He's
I
like,
don't blame him.
ooh, I love winning is apparently what he likes.
Yeah, exactly. He loves winning. So I'm surprised that he retired. Well, not too surprised, but I thought that since his best years are when the Eagles are good, I thought that he would want to try it one more year. But
Right.
I don't blame him at all. He had a fantastic career. So
Right.
yeah, other than that, I mean, the losses aren't terrible.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you're losing any, like, essential pieces other than maybe Kelsey. But
Yeah. But
hopefully with the apparent that he's been with Cam Jurgens that he's been training up this past year.
yeah, I think Kels on his like podcast has been hinting that Jurgens has been practicing at center last year as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, and he said that he's not worried whatsoever about the drop off from Kels to Jurgens. So, and that's from Kels himself. So
that's reassuring.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he even personally picked him out for them to draft in the first place. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah.
At center. Steen, obviously we talked about, but hopefully he'll be pretty damn good.
All right. What do you guys think grade wise?
You guys go first.
I mean, I like it for the most part. A lot. Probably A minus.
I was going to say A minus. I didn't want to say A minus, so you guys laughed at me. So.
Oh,
I can't believe I can't believe the depth at edge. It's wild to me.
Yeah, that's insane.
But and then for them to add more pieces, it's like, man, fuck you. I'm happy to see Saquon get paid. I even think the Devontae Parker move is a little better than people are, giving credit. But I like a lot of these picks. I still think it's weird they trade for Pickett.
Yeah, I still don't understand that.
The only position I was kind of surprised that they didn't get somebody really at was corner. But I mean, they got one guy, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is it just one? Yeah.
Tyler Hall.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. Yeah, I mean, I think they still deserve an A minus.
Yeah.
Away Dickerson.
I'll let you go, Austin, to grade with my final remarks.
I think I'm leaning towards more of a B plus, but just because like they got better, filled up holes that they needed, so they're not like desperate for any position in the draft. But I don't see anything that's like game changing that I would want to call it an A minus, other than maybe the Saquon Barkley pick. I really do like that I really do like that, even though I'm not like a paying running backs kind of guy. I think you're getting good value out of him for that cost. I think if they get one more corner, I think it goes to an A minus for me, but I'll do B plus.
But that might be an obvious spot for them in the draft. I mean, that's
true.
It's one of the few weaknesses. I mean, just based on the way the roster looks, it looks like they're going to go wide receiver and corner. Those two look pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's what's projected as a corner pick with their first pick. Honestly, like I'm hoping that if we don't, I'm hoping that it starts out with Slay and Ringo at our starting corners.
Did you think Ringo did well enough to start?
Yeah, he definitely played well enough to at least give him a shot at starting.
I agree.
Because he played pretty well. He didn't play like fantastic or anything, but he definitely showed that he has the talent for it, which he did in college, which is why we drafted him. But if he was working this offseason and is going to get better, then he's going to be pretty damn good, I think. We'll see. I wouldn't be opposed to the first round corner pick either, but we'll see.
Would you say your grade is for him then?
A minus.
Okay, cool. All right. Now moving on to the new Commanders as they get rid of everybody and then bring in a bunch of pieces.
So many.
Like they spent some money this offseason. And what I do like that they did is that they spent a lot of money, but like on low to mid-tier contracts just to fill up holes that they need to match their schemes for the new head coach coming in. God damn it. What is his name?
Wait, what are you looking at?
The head coach of the Commanders. Dan Quinn.
Oh, yeah, Quinn. Yeah.
I always freaking forget.
I was going to say, it's the one that we thought was going to go to your team.
Shut up. Yeah, I mean, I think they brought in a lot of guys to match the scheme, but they didn't overspend, I don't think, for many of them. They tried to backlog the offensive line. got some linebackers, some good veteran presence. So I don't know. I really cannot complain about their method because it's like, all right, no splash plays, but we need people to start filling up this roster to the way we want it, and they did it right away. So I'm pretty happy with what they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Austin Eckler and the Frankie Louvu pickups are pretty huge.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
But I mean,
Even Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I was-
kind of
Still playing good.
in run
Yeah.
defense specifically.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Yamin Davis is not getting it done there.
No,
So somebody's got to step
yeah,
up.
I mean, I think he'd be a great like coach for him, like an on the field
Yeah.
coach. I'd be happy about that.
Yeah, I think the Wagner pickup was pretty damn good for the Commanders for what they needed.
Right.
For the veteran presence, play caller, and all that stuff,
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting the captain. He's getting the
definitely.
the green dot.
I think that's perfect for what they needed because their defense, they have a lot of talent, and it's like, but it's a lot of young talent. Yeah,
I didn't notice they picked up Jeremy Chin.
I
Yeah.
sneakily
Happened?
love that pick too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All about Jefferson.
He wasn't like how he was his rookie year before the injury, but I would, for that price, take a shot on like him
What
to
did they
break
pay?
out this year. It was like a
So,
1 year,
4 mil.
$4 million.
Wow. It's a good deal.
Yeah, it's like a quick, cheap prove it deal.
Mhm.
I think he could be exactly what. Well, I guess it's not a fair comparison to compare him to Cameron Curl because he's more of like a bandit safety type.
Which I really like Cameron Crowe actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always loved him. So it's not like 1-to-1, but I think he can do probably what Quinn wants him to be up closer to the line, making some splash plays.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Dorrance Armstrong, Moosey? You would know him a lot better than we would.
I mean, I don't really know him that much.
Yeah, he was kind of trapped in the depth chart for the.
He didn't play that much, I feel like.
No.
So I don't really know that much.
Another sneaky signing I thought was the Nick Allegretti one. So he was like their backup guard on the Chiefs, who played really well when he came in.
Oh yeah.
And he signed him for a cheap contract for a guard that could prove to be really well if it all translates to the team. Like if everything he learned from the Chiefs and he stays consistent, I think it'd be an awesome pickup. But we'll see. It's not like we're breaking the bank for him.
Their O-line doesn't look that bad. I'd like to see them draft that tight end based on the roster I see right now from Texas this year. I mean, he would be real fun to watch on this offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he makes it there. We'll have to get there.
Also, Kingsbury offense this year.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the edge room is pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean they traded both their top guys last year, so I'm not surprised.
I mean, KJ Henry, I don't know if you guys watched him play at all, but man, I really liked him coming out. He was a rookie from last year. He might still work out. I wouldn't, count him out, but Clinton Farrell. Yikes.
What happened to Dante Fowler? He used to be pretty damn good, and now he's just getting traded around every fucking.
He's like the
team.
perfect like rotational edge.
Yeah,
like he's just enough flash just to come in every now and then and make a play when you need him, but he's just not consistent. I wouldn't want him on the field all the time. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope he does not. He's not going to be their plan for this year on edge. Yeah. So
also, I mean, their D tackles are their main.
Oh yeah,
true. I do like John Ridgeway on that, and behind Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. So
yeah, I like him a lot too.
Get Mathis in there every now and then, though he's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Payne and Allen are just fucking forces, man. Like,
yeah. What do you think about James Pierre when he was on the Steelers?
Oh, I mean, he's good. He's a good special teams player. He was a gunner. He's a good backup. Honestly, like I was kind of hoping he was gonna stay, but I totally get it. He could actually start over St. Just. I wouldn't be shocked.
Do like St. Just. I think he's underrated to a certain like he's not great. Like he's an average starter.
He's a pretty good man. He was pretty good in man coverage when he was coming out. I don't really know what he looks like in the league, but I remember really liking him in man coverage when he was coming out his year.
Yeah, I just think he gets out physicaled by a lot of the bigger guys.
Yeah,
and he's not a small guy either.
I know.
Was he? Yeah, he's 6'3".
Well, I do see him be he has a lot of fight to him, so I do like that. That's kind of why I like him. But
been injured. He's been on IR twice already in his career.
Okay. So that would explain why they want some extra depth there as well. Then,
But I don't think they paid Pierre anything really. Oh,
no,
look, they
no.
took Caillou Blue Kelly too.
Oh God,
I'm not gonna let him go that.
everyone's going. Well,
I'm not gonna let him
Caillou
go
Blue-
that easy.
he was probably on the Steelers for like 2 days last year too. So don't.
I would have known. I would have been so happy.
But
As long as Forbes is still toast, I'm fine.
hey,
He might
Forbes
step
got
back in,
better
man.
over the year. Like Forbes,
Look, it was a reach, an
Yeah.
obnoxious reach. I never thought of him as a first round pick, but I mean, I didn't think he was a bad corner. I still had him as a top 5 corner that year,
and he got caught when like,
and he's so undersized.
Yeah, the Eagles toasted him.
yeah, he got caught when AJ Brown was on his like absolute tear for like 5 weeks. I'm not gonna blame. I'm not gonna blame him for that. What'd you say?
Such a mismatch, AJ Brown and him.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's so late. Like,
but the reason why I say is because when he got drafted by the Commanders, he was like talking shit to Devontae Smith, because Devontae Smith, I guess, torched him when they were in college, and he was like, "Oh, I can't wait for my revenge," or whatever, and like, it's like,
oh boy,
all right,
getting torched to
conflict.
the electric boogaloo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be fair, like anytime I usually would see the heights and weights of a guy like Emmanuel Forbes, I'd be like, next. But I mean, he's got a motor, man, and he's a tough dude. You know, I'm excited to see him come back this year, and I don't really question that he'll be a starter. He's definitely going to be a starter going this year. I'd be shocked that he doesn't make the starting roster, but or that he's not a starter on this roster, especially with who else they have. But yeah, I mean, it should be fun to watch.
I do like what they did as like their first year under the new ownership and the new head coach. Like they were active, filled a lot of holes. They got Marcus Mariota. What more could you want?
Yeah,
Drake man.
I also like the
that too.
Yeah. I also like their the Dan Quinn Kingsbury split up as well.
Yeah, I think
because I like the teams with the head coach being in charge of like the one side of the ball and like OC or DC being in charge of the other one. Kind of like 2 head coaches kind of thing.
Right.
Separate side of the ball. It's so much for the head coach to do that, I mean, it's to not worry about like one side of the ball. I feel like it's huge for the head coach, you know.
Yeah.
But
it totally makes sense too, because with Dan Quinn already having head coaching experience with the Falcons, like you have someone who's like, all right, I know how much responsibilities I'm going to need. I'm just going to have someone who already knows the offense and also head coaching responsibilities, able to take some of that shit off my hands. And I could just
and one of the weaknesses of Kingsbury as a head coach was the actual head coaching, responsibilities. You know what I mean? Like he had the offensive mind to be, offensive coordinator, but he didn't, have the responsibility and shit like that to be a head coach.
Yeah.
No,
I think like with Kingsbury now is like just focusing on offensive coordinator job. I did not hate how his offense ran for the most part. I just think game planning wise, he just probably didn't have enough time being a head coach.
Yeah.
You're just inefficient with it. But
they're obviously going to go QB in the draft. So that'll change a lot as well. But
yeah.
Other than the rivalry, I always liked how they built their teams. Not the actual players, but I like how they built their teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always. Absolutely.
Because they get pretty scrappy with the Eagles a lot. But
thoughts on grades or any other notes that you guys have?
I would go B.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go B as well.
I really like it. I mean, especially like, upgrading the linebacker room, I think was a must, and I think they really filled that pretty well. It's very obvious that they're going to go quarterback, but I mean, they filled up the offensive line in very tasteful ways.
Mm-hmm.
The only other weaknesses, I mean, I'm looking at, and we've talked about this quite a bit right now, but I mean, edge, and I think it would be nice to have a corner in that room and a tight end.
Yeah,
like I think there's not an insane amount of holes, so I mean, it's hard not to give them a good grade.
100% agree.
Yeah, the best pickups are Eckler, Luvu, and Chin, and I think Luvu and Chin are going to be pretty damn good for them.
And I wouldn't sleep on the Allegretti pickup either. I thought that was good too.
Yeah,
I'm surprised about the Ertz signing. That one kind of scratched my head.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
I guess there wasn't a lot of free agent tight ends, was there?
No,
I don't remember.
I wonder if I think he signed before free agency started too. So
yeah, what happened with him last year? I can't.
He was out
He
for
got-
the year, and then he signed with the Lions on
Yeah, he got released by the Cardinals and signed with the Lions to try to get a free ring.
Yep. Almost too. I would have. That would almost. That could have worked out. With
Yeah,
those
he could've.
meddling 49ers.
Yeah, fuck them.
I mean, I'm looking
Well,
who's out there at tight end right now. CJ Uzuma is still out there. Robert Tunyon, it looks like, is still out there. I thought he got signed. Maybe they didn't update this yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tony.
This is out there worthwhile. Hit Jimmy Graham. I'm kidding. Yeah, I guess that's really it, man.
Didn't
It
Jimmy
really
Graham-
dries up pretty quick. What?
Didn't Jimmy Graham have like 4 touchdowns last year or something like that? Insane
Yeah.
amount.
They only bring him out within the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
there's not many tight ends.
All right. Which of the 4 teams in the AFC East you guys like the most? What do you think they?
Well, I think that's pretty obvious.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah. But I would say I really did like Washington's, but yeah, you have to give it to the Eagles. The other two are hot garbage. Well, not hot garbage. I can't say that about the Giants, but I still think the Giants were better than. I mean, the Commanders look better than the Giants.
I can definitively say it's definitely not the Cowboys. But
Well, yeah, obviously.
but the command. See, if I'm judging it off of their game plan, I think I like the Commanders' game plan the most. But if we're going by like a combination of the two, I'm kind of torn between the Eagles and Giants personally. I'm both at B pluses, so I might lean more towards the Eagles because I think they lost less impactful players and brought in more. So I'll lean towards the Eagles.
Are we going to be moving on to the NFC South next?
Well, I didn't hear what Moosey chose.
I did give
You know
a
what
go
Moosey's is
I did give a go Birds earlier, but
You're gonna do it now.
Feeling a little favoritism?
No, but honestly, I think it's the Eagles.
Okay, cool.
I was looking over it for a sec, and the Commanders would be my second, a close second, but I think it's the Eagles.
Yeah, Bear, do you wanna announce the next? Then what division are we doing again?
The NFC South.
Thanks,
buddy. We're gonna do the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh boy!
Oh boy, indeed.
Everybody get excited.
I hope they're good.
I hope so too.
I hope they're good.
I mean, it's all hinged on the Kirk Cousins signing. That's
Yeah.
all it is. I mean, I'm pretty hyped for him. I get why they did it. Normally, I'm pretty averse to signing a QB off an injury for that amount of money. But the amount of like QB bullcrap they dealt with for the last like 3 years, I totally understand why they just wanted that vet guy who we know is awesome in the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at this starting offense, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was coming off a hell of a year last year. I think it was one of the best years I think I've seen Kirk Cousins have. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're giving him this chance. I'm blown away that the Vikings didn't re-sign him, but yeah, I mean it should be really interesting. I mean the way that they're positioned in the draft coming up, it looks like they're either going to get the best defensive player off the board first, or a wide receiver.
Another one?
Yeah, there's
Why
no
not?
way that they can receiver. They have to go defense. Their defense is so lacking. It's insane.
Yeah.
Their only good player, or the two good players, is AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates.
Well, they have Grady Jarrett.
I do like Grady. Yeah.
And Arnold.
I like
Arnold
him.
Ebiketie, I don't think we're totally done with him yet.
No, absolutely not. But I still think you want to upgrade that position as much as possible.
And AJ Terrell and Bates in that backfield.
Like, I wouldn't be upset if they go corner.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the second, but like, there's some good corners at the top too that I think would like if you're putting him opposite of AJ Terrell, any one of those guys at the top. Ooh.
Yeah, I think they got to get that front down. But
yeah, the Darnell Mooney pick. I mean, they already also had the Darnell Mooney pickup too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think wide receivers out of the off.
And Rondell Moore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the trade. That was a crazy trade to me, by the way.
Yeah.
It really
straight up Desmond Ridder for Rondell Moore. Nothing else.
Yeah, you never see that straight up trade.
Holy crap. Good for the Falcons.
Yeah, good for the Falcons, definitely.
I mean, looking at the Falcons today, like, if they're one of the teams to trade back, like, if they trade with the Vikings, I mean, could you imagine somehow them getting Terry and Arnold and maybe Jerson Newton, like, what that would do for this defense?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that's realistic that they could end up with those two. Maybe even Byron Murphy. I mean, wow. We could be talking about a totally different team.
like especially with Raheem Morris coming in as the head coach now. Yeah, I think they're going to rebuild that defense up. Not even rebuild it, just stack it even higher.
Yeah.
Get an athletic edge, or I don't know if you want to. I think they're fine with having on the interior with David Onyemata and Grady Jarrett right now. So
Yeah.
I think edge is definitely going to be something they're going to want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they made a lot of signings that make a lot of sense
Yeah.
based on looking at the roster here.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think they're very balanced.
I agree. I would like them to get a little bit more depth on the O line.
Yep.
You always want that.
Right, but I think they're pretty thin. Like they're like one injury away. Like Matthew Bergeron played all right. So I like what he
Not
did.
that
Chris
good
Lindstrom's
shot.
awesome. Caleb McGarry, I liked how he played last year.
And obviously Jake Matthews, but
Right.
he's getting older. He's still good.
It's a pretty good line, though.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a tackle at the top, but
Yeah.
But this probably not. I mean, if they're getting Storm Norton, I guess they're just like, we just need the depth as much as possible. But I don't know.
Would be surprised if they didn't go defense.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
okay.
definitely would think, but I mean, if somehow Neighbors, I mean, it just depends on what they think about Neighbors and Atuncie if they're there. We've no idea where those two are really going to go.
It would be disgusting if they got one of those. Like I would be
London
it would be so
and what's his face? Neighbors. Oh my god!
watch
I
them
mean,
get like Rome.
and Drake London.
Both of those guys as being like insane physical monsters at the catch point.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I mean, I would love to see Neighbors go to them just because of London and Neighbors would be an awesome duo. And Darnell Mooney. Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see how they don't start Darnell Mooney and Rondell Moore.
yeah, I don't see how they do either. It would be insane for them to do that when they have all these other needs on defense to fill.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like the Charlie Warner pickup. Just more
yeah.
backup tight ends, get you some more
one
styles, more different offensive alignments you can play with. It's not just Kyle Pitts out in the slot or outside.
Yeah, man, dude, Kirk Cousins has a fucking feast, like with those fucking receivers that he has.
Oh
It's
yeah.
insane.
And I like how they're
backfield, Pitts, Moore, Mooney, London. That's insane.
And Robinson and Algier, like it's just that's just quite a team, man. I mean, they're not a team I want to go fantasy on that often. Maybe Cousins, but maybe not the rest of them that much because there's a lot of mouths to feed there.
My favorite part of this too is how they all have different skill sets too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like a good blend of whatever you need for different situations.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I said. I hope they're good. I hope because if they are good, they're gonna be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, but I don't think there's really anything else to talk about.
Nope.
Sorry, what were you saying?
They got to stack up that defense.
What?
I said they got to stack up that defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that they're gonna be a lot of fun.
And I mean, like you said, I mean, it does actually look pretty obvious like they are going to go defense based on the signings. But I mean, we see things happen so quick. I mean, we could see them with 4 new players on that defense, come next week. It's just this moves so fast.
I think grade wise, anytime you fleece the Cardinals, it's probably going to be an A for me.
I gotta be honest. I think even though there's not a lot of moves here, I feel like I gotta give them an A- just because. I mean, the fact that they picked up Kirk Cousins alone, I mean, I think really should give them an A. The only thing I am not gonna knock them on is not really picking up anybody in the defense.
That's true.
I like their offensive moves in a lot of the cases.
Yeah,
even like Charlie Warner. I mean, there's a lot to like here. I mean.
I think with the defense, it's probably going to push it to a B+ for me.
Yeah.
And I do love what they did.
Their defense has a lot of young guys that can still, I guess, take another step. But and Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, I mean, they're some of the best defensive backs in the league. So,
agreed.
Which they're obviously game changers. But like I said, they still need to do work on defense.
What are you thinking grade wise?
I'm going to go A-.
A-. All right, dope.
I mean, I could totally see them bringing Calais Campbell back in. He's still on the market, at least according to Over the Cap.
What did he give you anymore, though?
He's not terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's based on, I'm looking at a lot of the names in free agency here. He's like one of the only ones, I mean, that I would even consider. I'm trying to see if I see anybody else. I don't see any other guys that I would really take.
He's 37.
Oh, God. Holy, he's been in here forever.
Did they take Yannick Njoku?
I don't want to see him on that team.
Or Carl Lawson.
That's who okay. That
I could see that
There you
name.
go.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Now you're talking to me.
Randy
There we go.
Gregory's still out there.
I like that idea too.
Ogba's still out there, which I thought he got signed. I guess he didn't.
They signed Randy Gregory. They're just gonna have all the defensive.
Oh, Tyus Bowser might be interesting for them.
Yeah.
And there's still some good names out there.
Yeah.
So there's still some pieces they could pick up. Nobody picked up Simmons either. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think A- for me was definitely the move for them.
Cool. All right. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers. Here we go. What's your guys' initial thoughts on their moves?
Yuck.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mean. I want to call it mean.
The Otter pickup is huge.
That is huge.
It is.
But other than that, I'm like, I don't fucking get it.
So it looks like that they're basically trading some defensive pieces to fill up the offense as much as possible to see if Bryce Young is the guy. Their biggest weakness last year was offensive line, especially the interior. Robert Hunt, I thought, played really well. Damian Lewis, he's okay. I think he's a starting caliber guy.
He's an upgrade.
He is an upgrade, 1,000%. Starting caliber guy that's going to be you're going to like more in the run game than the pass game, but he's very serviceable in the pass game. And then obviously the Deontay Johnson trade is like you're going to want a great route runner like Deontay Johnson to help utilize the offense as much as possible. So, and they also brought in the head coach that pretty much helped Baker rejuvenate his career, and also this is Dave Canales, by the way, who also rejuvenated Geno Smith's career. He was the QB coach for Geno Smith before he got hired by the Bucs to be the offensive coordinator. So he presumably is going to work with Bryce Young and get him developed. And the best way to do that is to put protection and a great offensive piece like Deontay Johnson in.
Yeah. I just feel like they could have done more on the offensive line. Not that I like the Robert Hunt pickup, but the offensive line was still bad though.
I mean, do you think Corbett's really that bad? I mean, I don't think of him as terrible.
Yeah, I mean he's
one who could still get better.
Yeah, centers look worse when your guards are bad.
I think they upgraded at both guards.
I agree. Chandler Zavala could develop too. I liked him as a potential piece on an offensive line.
I mean, wide receiver, even with Deontay Johnson, still looks awful. Just like Thielen. And I mean, Mingo looked okay.
Yeah, Thielen was their top threat last year, which I mean doesn't seem much.
Yeah. And how many wins did they have?
Yeah, but I mean,
no, but seriously, how many wins do they have?
Yeah, but I mean, Thielen is still Deontay Johnson and Mingo. I think Mingo can take another step with more opportunity.
Right.
And I mean, Thielen is just a veteran guy on the team.
Yeah.
I think their first pick should be a wide receiver
in the second round. Sure. I mean, I agree because their first pick is going to be the second round. So I mean,
second round. They don't have first round pick.
No, they traded it for Bryce Young last year.
Curious to see how Clowney plays on that defense. Should be interesting.
Clowney?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did he just get signed by them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's right.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
The linebacker room, though, other than him, is pretty rough. It's a shame. A lot of their really good players on the defense are all gone. I mean, losing Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Chin. They traded what's his face to the Steelers, Dante Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I can't wait to check him out a little more when I have time because apparently the Steelers were after him last year. I'm really curious to see what all the hype's about.
Yeah, it is disappointing to see how much they lost on that defense.
Yeah, Bruce Matos.
Like I said, I really think there's like our number one goal next year isn't to win. It's to see if we have anything with Bryce Young, to see if we need to move on as fast as possible.
Yeah, agreed.
So
the running back room disappoints me as well. I kind of figured they were going to add something there, and there was definitely some guys out there.
They spent too much money on Miles Sanders last year, though.
I'm surprised he didn't get cut.
Yeah.
I don't know how the contract's set up, but...
True. Could have been front-loaded.
Yeah.
I actually do like Chuba.
Hubbard, yeah.
As a starter?
Yeah. I like him as a 1-2, like as part of the 1-2. I don't
Yeah.
know if 1 or 2, but I like him
just
as a room.
I look at Chuba and Miles
Yes.
both like good number twos. I just
Yeah, I mean, I can agree. I still like him as like the 2.
100% agree. Get a nice Thunder or Lightning approach with Chuba Hubbard, like as the Thunder. He plays hard.
Yeah, exactly. I did pick up Tariq Cohen. I guess they did that last year, but still.
I'm interested to see the Caleb on Chason experiment, their first round pick from the Jags 4 years ago. The DJ Wanham, Ashawn Robinson. It looks like they're just filling up pieces right now just to make at least have a somewhat of a suitable offensive line or defensive line. My bad. I mean, Derek Brown had a great year last year. So, he'll obviously be the cornerstone of that defense. The other side of it is I really do like their defensive coordinator a lot. So I feel like they're going to see him as like doing a lot of the heavy lifting scheme wise.
They're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to be great next year, but I'm excited to see Young with those receivers and see what happens.
Did you see the cap space they made up for cutting Hayden Hurst? Man, they were killing it, man. 52,000.
That's and it still saved them. They probably would prefer to like, oh, he's still not worth keeping.
we saved ourselves an F-150. Yeah, exactly. I used one, not even a new one.
Tommy Tremble is their top.
I know.
Oh, I
keep coming back to that
spot for him.
Oh, really?
I mean, I like
sort
him
of
as like, a blocking tight end, but
yeah,
I feel like they need somebody else there as well. Like Gesicki would have been a good move for them.
The problem is I don't even think it's going to be a good year for them to pick up a tight end just because they need so many other things.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I don't think
they're a luxury.
Gesicki would want to go to the Panthers either.
I wouldn't want to go to the Panthers.
I like the trade they did with Brian Burns to help supplement that.
It is weird they didn't get more.
Well, apparently, they had those 2 firsts last year when the Rams were trying to trade for him, or 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're still getting a second for him when he didn't have anything left on the contract. I think they were going. So
yeah, the contract.
Like you had to pay him, and they were like, "Well, we're not paying him." So obviously the value is going down. And I bet you they would have paid him if they had more, if they built the team better. But yeah, last year was such a mess. But I'm giving an A+ to that Deontay Johnson trade for sure.
100%.
So I think overall I'm giving this a B, maybe a B-, just because I like the plan. I like the plan they're doing. But that's pretty much about all I like about it. Like with 2 guards and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, but look at how many key players they lost on defense. Like for me, this roster's gonna get a D+. Just because
the roster itself. Yeah.
They lost so many people in that defense that it's just gross.
Yeah.
At this point, I like the offensive line moves. I like them getting Deontay. They stole Deontay. I called the police and everything. I was very upset. That's my guy, and I wish him the best. I hope he kills it down there.
Yeah, I'm between a C+, B-, because I like what they're doing, where they're just like, hey, we're just trying to figure out what Bryce Young is this year. We don't care about anything else. But because they obviously need a lot of things to happen to be a good team. Obviously, like
Bear
to their roster's awful. That's not what I like what they're doing, but I guess I'd go C+.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta give him a D+ just because as much as I love those 3 moves, that defense just is awful, and the losses. I mean,
there's just no way. There's no way to me that they could have made moves to make that defense good.
I agree. I like that they at least tried.
But I mean, dude,
they brought in a bunch of cheap contracts to fill the holes, and even Ashawn Robinson would be like a decent piece for them if they can get a good edge defender in the draft. But
like if you look at their starting defense from last year, they're losing their starting strong safety, 2 of their starting D linemen / edges, depending on how you look at both of them. They're getting rid of one of their corners. They're getting rid of a starting linebacker, a starting safety. Man, that's just...
They also won 1 game with all those guys.
No, it's true.
They need to do a lot.
And the reason they lost so many games wasn't because of the defense. It was because of how bad the offense was. And when you've made minimal upgrades on the offense, I'm sorry. Like, I can't give them better than a D.
I'll bring it to a C+. I can get behind that. I like what their plan is. It's definitely too rich, I think, to be a B. So C+. I
Oh
can
my
bring it down to
God.
that.
They got Lamar Jackson at corner.
All
How
right,
did
moving
they
on.
do that? I'm sorry. I had
To the Saints we go.
I was okay when they called him a running back, but now that you're calling him a corner, now I'm upset.
Yeah, there we go. So the Saints do some voodoo magic to get their cap under again and still sign some players
I
that
really like the Mason Peterman pickup. It's really going to change their game.
I really think it's going to take them to the next level. I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt with that very bad joke.
No, you might as well. I mean, that's what the Saints are. So, no, I'm just kidding. I could help myself. It was right there.
That's pretty good. I like it. Fuck with you.
But yeah, they didn't really do a lot. I mean, they couldn't. Their cap is so screwed up. I like how Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis took pay cuts, keep playing.
They're not getting any younger, man.
No, they're not. And I do like the Cedric Wilson pickup. I do like the Willie Gay pickup. And even Chase Young for 1 year. I still think the price tag is a little rich, but
it's a proven deal for a, what was he, number 1 overall pick?
Yeah. I think he's number 2.
Number 2.
I mean, he'll be good. I think he'll be fine on that defense. I know he had some lazy play time last year with the 49ers. So hopefully that doesn't continue with the Saints. But
did you see they put him over Cameron Jordan on their depth chart? I'm sorry, I laughed at that when I saw it.
I know. I mean, I get it because Cameron Jordan has been getting less efficient over time.
Yeah, real quick. If you're on our lads, click on Cameron Jordan's name and look at his picture.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at this stuff.
It's pretty fucking pretty good.
That is
Gotta love
fabulous. He's a treasure.
Yeah,
he's doing this like stare down, and it just with the one eyebrow up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out.
I clicked on him and I'm like, whoa.
Hello there.
I mean, they got a lot of guys from last year that could really turn up this year. I mean, I really liked Isaiah Foskey coming out last year. I thought there was a lot of things to like with him. I mean, he could definitely be a guy that can definitely turn around and get better. Brian Broussais. I mean,
I was going to say I'm surprised Brian Broussais wasn't the first one you brought up.
Well, I got to keep my favoritism down a little bit. Yeah, he was one of my favorites from last year's draft. I really hope he turns it around. Trying to see who else they got on this roster. It's worth talking about.
They got Jonathan Abram. I think he's worth talking about.
Wow, crazy. I honestly like.
I was waiting for somebody else to say something. Apparently, I'm not the only one who felt that way.
You said Jonathan Abram, and then it clicked with me. Like a few seconds later, I'm like, "Oh shit, that Jonathan Abram."
Yeah.
Holy
he's
shit,
he's gonna be amazing. But
I wish he was good.
I kinda.
Yeah, I liked him as a person, as a player. I guess whatever, but
yeah.
You liked him as a person?
Yeah.
He acts like a little bitch.
Damn, bro. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know how I feel? I was so hyped when I watched Najee put him in the ground. It was great. Love that. Loved every second of it. I had to change my pants.
Your lingering animosity for the Raiders is starting to show. Giving them a grade is just going to be stupid because they put themselves in this position where they can't even make good free agency roster moves anymore.
I was surprised they let Winston go, but I mean, I think that says more about him than anything.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that whatsoever.
Yeah, the surprising part was him going to the Browns. That was the part.
That is true.
But
I think they did pretty well with what they could do.
Yeah,
I still think they could have done the Chase Young thing based on their cap situation.
They obviously do not care.
No, they don't. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, like if you're really trying to fix the cap, I don't think bringing back with Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis was such a great move. I don't think signing Willie Gay or Chase Young was a great move. Like if you really want to fix this roster, I just feel like those are moves that maybe you hold off on.
His funny part was with Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu were going to be on the roster next year anyway. They just did a void year crazy extension thing with both of them.
How many void years can we do?
At least 10 more.
Like, bro, nobody will give them a credit card. Nobody.
That's what they're doing right now. They have the credit card right now.
Yeah, I think with the Willie Gay and Chase Young, more Willie Gay. I think Willie Gay is going to get a better contract when they have more cap space.
I hope so.
Yeah, because I
don't like the player. Like it's has nothing to do with the player himself.
Yeah.
It's just everything with the cap misery that they've been in for too long. And I
I
think
feel like that was part of the deal with Willie Gay signing there was that, like, hey, like we can't do much with you this year, but like if you play well the upcoming years we can give you a contract. Because
I'm,
there's no reason why Willie Gay
Yeah.
took a 1-year
And
contract.
DeMario Davis might retire too by that time because I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
he's like 37 now.
and I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. I was kind of shocked that Kamara's still on the roster. I kind of thought he was going to be a cap casualty.
Yeah, I mean, with them, anybody could be a cap casualty, but I know Ryan
So-
Ramczyk, there was some news about
Yeah,
his leg.
they're prepping for him to not be able to return. That's what I
Yeah.
know. And I know that they're not happy about Trevor Penning.
Yeah, I don't know. It sucks because they didn't even have like the protection from when something like crazy like this would happen with Ryan Ramczyk, or if the Trevor Penning pick didn't work. Like they just don't protect themselves. It's like,
Well, and my thing is, it's like I don't really believe in tanking, but this is like such a bad situation, and it's been such a bad situation for so long that like I feel like this is the one time to tank,
yeah.
and they just don't do it.
See, it's like the situation is like, yeah, they still have good players to make a splash in the season. Maybe not be a consistent winner, but the problem is like it's just going to keep growing, and they really do need to eventually just bite the bullet on it. Sorry,
They
go
have
ahead.
so much. They're spending so much money in their team, and also a big factor of this is that the NFC South. That I think that it's kind of hard to just tank a season, especially with how much money you're paying in the
That's true.
NFC South, where there's not that much competition right now.
Yeah,
And they still can't do it.
I mean, with the Falcons probably going to be taking the division unless something happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, well, you never know. If Bryce Young comes out as like a perennial guy, solid starter for the next 10 years, you never know. So we're going to have to bite. They're going to get nailed eventually. I don't know. I think overall, with the losses they have and being able to not really replenish it as effectively, I just have to, it's just going to be like a D- for me.
I was actually thinking like a C minus.
Yeah, I gotta be honest here. I've already explained how I think they should have gone, but I gotta give them an F because it's like this is just ridiculous. It's year after year. You're not fixing the problem. Like it's time to rebuild. You're in a very rare situation that I really think you need to rebuild, and you guys just keep making dumb signings like Chase Young. And it's not that I don't think the player is worth going after. It's you don't have the money. You got to stop doing it. You got to start getting the cap sorted out if you ever want to be a good team again. And it's like year after year. Like I just don't understand it. And I know people who are Saints fans and they're tired of this nonsense. They're tired of being this bad, and the biggest problem they've had for years hasn't been fixed.
Because they even say like everyone says like, oh, Howie's like the void year guru, and like he puts stuff like even he does like retooling years. Like he'll reduce the cap and take a year off to get some young talent and bring some cheaper people in. Like,
Yeah, but he knows when it's time to trade too.
exactly,
He's not
that
gonna,
too.
and he's not giving huge contracts to Cox and Graham. He was giving reasonable contracts to keep them on the roster.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, like, so like Tyrann Mathieu specifically, like, I have to go back and look a little more, but man, he's been. I don't think he would make most rosters at this point.
I
He's still playing that bad.
actually very much disagree.
Yeah, I agree.
How old is Matthew?
I mean, it doesn't matter how old he is. I'm just saying with how he's been playing, he's actually been playing really well with the Saints. I was actually surprised. I thought his age would get to him, and he's been playing really well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think they need to fix their cap
Oh, yeah.
situation as soon as possible.
definitely
That's
do.
where I'm at. So yeah, I mean they're gonna get an F for me.
I gave him as high as a grade as I did because I think that with what they had, or what they could do, I like the signings of Gay and Young, and with the NFC South being as weak as it was, and taking a gamble on this year, saying we could win the division.
Yeah.
It's,
I guess like you have Derek Carr on the roster, so it's kind of hard to even justify.
which I'm not.
tanking.
I'm not the big fan of Derek Carr either. But
Yeah, but you're paying him a lot of money,
Yeah,
thinking he's
exactly.
a starter. So
you're paying that whole roster that much money. Like, might as well one less hurrah, I guess, with the best you can do. But
They've been doing a one last hurrah for 5 seasons.
I think you could. I think you
it's
could
a lot
get
of
it back.
injury stuff too, but they've had a lot of bad luck.
Oh, agreed. I mean, some of those last years with Breeze, like I really thought they were a contender, but you can't win it all.
Yeah.
I think Moosey convinced me to at least in a vacuum put it up to a D plus. If we're talking about like their last 3-year plan, I'm probably along the lines of Ubear with the F. But yeah,
Yeah, and I understand you guys not feeling the same way. I just think I'm so sick of seeing the way they build teams at
yeah.
this point. It's such a glaring problem.
I totally agree that they're not thinking about the future whatsoever.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are an aging team that's been trying to swap some pieces out. I'm not even 100% sure how to feel about their free agency, if I'm being honest.
Agreed. I don't know what the plan is.
It's called I am whelmed.
I don't know what the long term plan is. I don't know what the short term plan is. I just don't really understand it just in general. I am upset that they took Opeta from us, but
I do like him, yeah.
he's a great backup guard. But
yeah, it's tough because like I obviously agree with Mike Evans retiring with them. So great extension. Good. I think it was a solid deal for where he's at in his career. I 100% agree with Antoine Winfield staying on the team and franchise tagging him until you figure out that contract because he's amazing. And Baker Mayfield, I think he earned a contract, and I think the contract extension is also along the lines of how Geno's was with his extension, where it's not gonna break the team, it's not gonna break the bank for him. But it is like low end starter money. So I do like the moves they're doing. I just don't know what the plan is. I guess the plan is that they believe in these players to stay on the team and be good, but
I think it's another bet on the NFC South being bad.
yeah,
like
Yeah.
we did it this last year. Why can't we do it again?
exactly. And I know I'm going to be in a minority here, but I do like Baker as a
Yeah,
player.
no, I think he played
I
well.
root for him. Yeah, I'm always rooting for Baker, just because of the way he got kicked off the Browns, and it was such a bad decision, and
Probably
just the
the
player that
worst
he
trade
is.
of our lifetime.
Obviously, he's not going to be a long-term solution, obviously, but I,
Well,
like the Otter said, I don't understand the plan.
the
Yeah.
running back room worries me.
They haven't really addressed that very well. I don't think Chase Edmonds. I mean, I'm fine with Chase Edmonds, especially if you're not paying him. Like they didn't break the bank for Chase Edmonds. Like 1 year, 1.5 is a solid deal for a backup running back.
And
But I do not like the running back room at all.
Like, how do you?
White played better than was expected, I think,
He,
last year.
he did, but I feel like that was also because of the fantasy implications. Because one thing White is good at is catching the ball and at least being a decent route runner for a running back.
Yeah.
So, but if you're going to watch him run the ball, gross.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Mike Evans and Chris Godwin both still being on the roster just doesn't. I thought Chris Godwin would get cut, and I hate to
Really?
say it, I really do.
Yeah,
Aw, I love Chris Godwin. I don't think they would do. I think they
I
would
think he's
prefer.
worth what they're paying him.
How much are they paying him?
I'm
Yeah, I don't
looking it up as we're talking because
I'd like
I know it's a lot.
Anything but him getting traded to the fucking Chiefs or whatever other fucking team that would be a powerhouse for him to get a ring, But
Yeah,
I love Mike Evans, and I always have a soft heart for players that want to stay on a team their whole career. So I like the move.
So he's only worth $8 million this year, but they keep rolling it back.
No,
They restructured him. It looks like.
yeah, steal.
yeah, absolutely. Seal.
I don't know what the dead money. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh no, his base salary for 2024 is 18 million.
Yeah.
And then the rest is all void years. So I think this is his last year on contract. And then for 18 mil, I mean, he's getting paid less than Deontay Johnson. So
Yeah.
happy about that. Then you paid Mike Evans basically 1 to 2 million more, he is the better player. Though I do like the style of receiver that Godwin is over Mike Evans. I do think Mike Evans is the better player.
I'm kind of guessing that Cody Mock goes to center, if I had to guess.
Wasn't he a tackle when he was
He played
last year?
center, I think, as well. I know they used him in the Senior Bowl as a center.
I thought he was going to just be a guard.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
He's a great guard.
Yeah,
I just think there's going to be other positions to build up on, and
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about centers past the top 3 yet.
I am worried about their offensive line. I get the Ben Bredesen pickup, though he didn't really play that well.
I mean, Robert Hainsey,
Yeah, I'm not.
and Luke Goki.
Hey, Luke had a great year last year. I don't want no slander on Luke.
I don't know. I'm not a huge
His
fan.
first year was bad. I'll say that. I think he's getting his reputation is leaking from his rookie year.
Do you think Sua is a starter?
I mean,
Bootsy?
this is the prove it year because he's always been a backup.
How would
and
you
when he-
feel if he started for you?
I would be excited to see what he does as a starter, as an everyday starter, because when he does come in, he's great. He hasn't obviously started yet, so it's kind of hard to see.
The Carlton Davis trade kind of blew my mind. How old is he? He's older, right? Or is Jamel Dean the older one of the two?
Jamal Dean is 27, so he's not as old as I thought he was.
Carlton Davis is 27.
I would have guessed Carlton Davis is older.
So they're not even old. Neither of them are. I always thought because they've
I
been in the
thought
league
Davis
for a
was
while.
older.
Yeah. Man. So I
kind of like their defense. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they traded away Carlton Davis because I always really liked him.
Yeah.
I don't think
And
this is a
for not even that much. Well, they got like a third round, but they gave him 2 picks. So they just wanted in the draft.
There's not too many teams that we've looked at so far, and I'm like, oof, they need to get an edge early. And I look at them and I'm like, man, this might be a great opportunity for you guys to get like a top linebacker or an edge in this draft, because I just think everybody's going to go tackle, corner, wide receiver, quarterback. Like those seem to be the position that I think 90% of the teams are probably going to go in the first round.
Yeah,
And
I mean, they definitely
really
need the edge.
the guy.
They just invested a lot at edge though the last couple of years.
Yeah,
in preparation for Shaq
Tryon
Barrett getting older and getting hurt.
Tryon's not terrible, and Cansey looked pretty good.
Yeah, I like Cansey.
And Diaby, dude, man, I liked him a lot coming out last year, and man, I didn't think he'd be as good as he is though. I'm really happy for him. I think it's kind of an exciting roster. I wouldn't be shocked if they make the playoffs again, but I think they need to tackle running back. I think they need to get some young blood in that wide receiver room and work on that O line.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but I think they could do better with Baker again. I mean, and I don't think it's going to take much on that defense, to be honest.
Yeah,
overall, pretty good roster, but
yeah.
I
think I'm gonna give them a C.
With their free agency, yeah. Let me take another look quick.
Maybe a
mean,
C
they kept
minus.
the pieces. They kept the pieces from the team that they needed to keep.
Yeah, they did. That's very important because they didn't really need to add a crazy amount other than some depth.
I mean, I understand getting rid of Carlton Davis is, an issue, but they needed to free up some space somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is as far as that's concerned. But I'm hoping they sign Winfield to a long-term contract.
Oh, I hope so too.
And they will. I think they have to. But
Yeah.
him and Whitehead should be fun.
Yeah, I feel like the Winfield deal will change my grade a lot if they get him long term. Because I think right now it's like a C minus for me, just free agency wise, and most of that is just extensions.
Oh yeah, my whole grade is lifted up by the extensions.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I can go C minus. If they re-sign him, I can bring to a longer term. I can bring it up to a C.
Yeah, agreed. Or even a C plus. Also part of it is that I'm excited to see Opeta if he starts at guard, because I want to see what he does as a starting guard. But
I don't know if you put it on here or not that their center retired. I'm trying to see. Maybe I missed it. I mean, that was kind of unexpected.
I know I put it. I guess I didn't. Oh, that guy wasn't that. 2 years ago though, or was that this last year?
No, he got injured last year, and like I think either
Oh.
preseason or the first game. I can't remember.
Wait, what's his name? That's what I'm
Ryan Jansen.
Yeah.
asking. Yeah,
He
that's
was a really good player. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a pretty good center. One of the better ones in the league. You know, I don't think that was expected at all. So you know, it's a shame there. But I mean, honestly, I get what you guys are saying, but I do feel like if they can sign away Winfield to a long-term deal, to me it would be like a B minus, but right now it's a C plus. You know, I don't think they hurt themselves. I think
Yeah.
they did very well to keep the best talent in house. And you know, even the talent that's gone, I don't think it really hurt the roster that much as you know, maybe it would other teams because they still got guys at corner,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that they could draft somebody early. They could, you know, there's plenty of places they could go. They could still win this division as far as I'm concerned. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
and that's even with as star-studded as the Falcons look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's our general consensus on all of the NFC South is that anyone could take that league right or take that division right now.
I don't know about anybody.
Yeah.
I really think it's just them and the Falcons to me.
I think the Saints are always scrappy within the division. They always play everyone hard.
They're only getting older though.
Well, speaking of all the teams in the division, is there any of them that stand out to you for their free agent signings?
Falcons.
Yeah, I mean
Falcons.
Falcons, I think, are a mile above the other ones. I really like a lot of things they've done.
Yeah, me too.
I think they're the most put together by a long shot of the four.
If they draft a game changer defense, then they're going to be scary too, just in general in the NFC. But
the kind of excitement we need for an NFC South team.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't been good. They've been good for a while.
I mean, even if they don't go defense in the first round, if they get one of the star wide receivers, I mean, my God, it's not going to worry if they can put up 50 points a game. It doesn't matter what the defense is doing.
You're going to consistently mock them a first round wide receiver, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Just consistent, no matter what.
I just think it's so hard if somehow Adunzie or Neighbors are there that it's hard to pull off of that without significant trade choice.
All right. Any other final thoughts or?
It's another 2-hour pod. So
absolutely.
Let's go.
Get used to hearing the sound of your own voice.
Yeah. And we still got
know how much I love it.
We've still got 2 other divisions to go.
Hell yeah, brother.
We're so sorry, everybody.
No, I'm not sorry anymore. If you're here for this long, then you love it.
Oh, 100%. If you're here this long, we love you.
And we appreciate you, exactly.
Or you married me and you feel really bad for us.
That's true.
My wife's not going to listen to this.
If you know us and you listen this long, then, I mean,
we're sorry.
So.
Yeah. We're sorry.
No, I went opposite.
I'm not sorry.
You don't care about your friends.
I'm sorry. You better be listening this long. You care about me personally.
No one cares about you.
Well, that'll about wrap things up today. Let us know if you have any thoughts, what things you guys disagree or agree on. And
tell us who's the greatest in the comments.
Yeah.
And hit that like button and subscribe.
Yeah,
fuck you. I fucking
shit out of that like button.
Hit the shit out of that button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell.
Do all the stereotypical bullshit. Yeah.
Please. Hit like a 6-year-old kid talking shit to you.
We're gonna wrap this up now. Bye.
Bye.
Moosey.